Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am Golda and I am a registered nurse. I would like to share 10 tips on how to be successful in nursing school. Been there, done that, don't want to go back. Hey, let's just jump right into it, okay? Tip number one, follow your study guide, okay? Know what it is that you're supposed to know. Depending on the professor, I've had professors make a study guide for every chapter, and then I've had professors make it for like exams. So they'll combine like a few chapters together into a study guide. Whatever the case may be, answer those questions and know what they're about. Do not do yourself the disservice of studying blindly, basically. Okay, don't study blindly. Know what you're studying for, know what the goal is, know what the objectives are, and that will help you tremendously. Okay, tip number two, I'm looking over here because I have notes. Tip number two, study a little harder every day. I'm the type of person, I cannot cram stuff and like wait till like the day before and take it all in. I can't do that. So I usually spread out my chapters. If my exam is in 2 weeks, I'll start doing like 2 3 chapters a day. I don't know how to sit down like the night before or 2 nights before and trying to study everything. I don't know how to do that. And in nursing school, it's almost impossible to do because there's so many chapters, so many different concepts. So there's so much to understand and to learn that if you wait till the last minute, you're doing yourself a disservice, okay? So study a little bit every day will be my second tip. Tip number three, focus on the material covered in class, right? A lot of professors are only going to mention things in class that you need to know and things that are going to be on their exam. So if they said absolutely nothing about, I don't know, hemothorax, for example, I wouldn't focus too much on that, right? Especially if it doesn't appear anywhere on the study guide as well. Now, some professors, I don't know where they're from, but this is not true for every professor, basically. So you need to know your professor and know the type of person they are. But most people, most professors will focus on the stuff they want covered in class and on the study guide. So that should help you tremendously so that you know exactly what to study for. If they've mentioned it in class and it's on the study guide, you should definitely be reviewing it when you get home. Okay? Tip number four. Tip number four. Form a study group. I cannot say this enough. This probably is the tip number one. I would not have made it through nursing school without a study group. Why? Here's why. There's so many chapters to cover that for me, it was impossible to read all of them by myself. So what my group did is we split up the chapters. And for example, I'd be responsible for chapter 2 and someone else would be responsible for chapter 4 and so on and so forth. So then if I'm responsible for chapter 2, I sit down and I thoroughly take notes on that chapter. And then I bring it to the group and I pass it around. Or like I'll just email it to everybody, to all 3 or 4 of my group members. And then they'll do the same thing, take notes on their chapter, and then send it to all of us. So that instead of me having to read 10 chapters, I'm really fully only reading 2. And then I'm taking the notes from the other people and studying off of their notes. Also, study groups will help you kind of bounce ideas off of each other. If there's a concept you didn't understand, I'm pretty sure someone in your group understood the concept and they can explain it to you. And sometimes it's easier for you to understand when your classmate explains something to you rather than your professor, because your classmate is going to use lay terms with you, terms that you're more likely to understand as opposed to your professor. So that's tip number 4. study groups. Absolutely, okay? Tip number 5, skim through the chapter first. Especially when you have a study group and you do split up the chapters. When you get your chapter, skim through it, kind of go through the things that you're going to need to take notes on. Use again your study guide to guide your note taking, and then when you're done skimming through and you kind of see, because some chapters are longer than others, some chapters are more detailed than others, right? So by skimming through, it kind of gives you an idea of how long you're going to need to like take notes, and how long, basically the time frame necessary to tackle a chapter. But that's what you're going to have to do. Just skim through first and then sit down and take the time that you need to take your notes and study. Okay. So tip number 6, understand the material. Do not memorize it. I know that's hard, especially in nursing school, because you just want to memorize it, pass the exam, and move on. But you're basically doing yourself a disservice for when you're a nurse, because if all you did was memorize as a nurse, it's gonna suck for you. It's gonna be bad, because you actually need to understand processes, understand concepts, understand why this happens and why that happens. If this happens, then what can I expect to happen next, right? But if you just memorize it, it doesn't quite make sense. You can't really expect the next thing, okay? Sorry, I'm showing my shoulder here. But yeah, understand the chapters, understand the material, the concepts, and everything. Don't memorize them. Tip number 8, know your learning style. This is very important. Me, I have to read and write. I have to take notes in order to like understand stuff. I can't just read and that's it. As I read, I take notes, and then I reread it, and then if there's a video, I'll watch the video. Yeah, I don't learn like this. I read, take notes, read, watch videos, whatever it may be. I have to take notes. I have to have my notes. That's important for me. So I would say I'm a visual learner. Listening alone doesn't do it for me. So I'm not an auditory learner. I'm more of a visual learner. So know your learning style and bank on that. Whatever your learning style is, make sure that's what you're doing. If you know you're not an auditory learner, what's the point of you listening to stuff? For me, it goes in and right back out. So I don't even do it, okay? So tip number 9, I would say use flashcards for your downtime. What do I mean? For example, you're at like a doctor's appointment, right? You don't have your books with you, but the wait is kind of long. So you can pull out your flashcards and just go through them for that, 15, 20, 30 minutes. And that's time that you already like gained right there. So I would say do have your flashcards ready. You can do the pre-made ones that you just purchase off of Amazon, or you can make your own, whatever you want to do. Something else I've seen people do, they'll write on like post-it notes and like put it on their mirror, so that when they're getting ready in the morning, maybe like when you're brushing your teeth, you're reading whatever it is that you need to read, and telling it to yourself as you're brushing your teeth, okay? I was a flashcard type of girl. I don't do the whole post-it note on my mirror. When I get ready, I get ready. I'm not even a multitasker. So I would say when you do have a little bit of downtime, you need to be prepared to always have something to review with. Nursing books are heavy, okay? You cannot carry them everywhere. So have your flashcards ready. Tip number 10, which is the last one. Take breaks and rest well, okay? You cannot just study day in and day out. Cannot do that. You're gonna burn out fast, okay? Take breaks. I would take breaks after like every 2-3 hours, right? I would get up, walk, get a drink, go through my phone, something. And I I can't I had classmates who would study for like 6-7 hours. My brain doesn't even function like that. Okay, my brain was shut down. Okay, take breaks, because if you don't, then I feel like you lose interest faster. You're just like, what am I doing this for? What am I doing this for? And also, you need to rest. You need to plan your day accordingly so that you're able to sleep good at night. I was never the type of person to pull all-nighters. No. In my whole life, I may have pulled maybe 2 all-nighters, and even those weren't really all-nighters. I don't do that. I have to be in bed by a certain time. I usually, when I was in nursing school, no matter how bad things were, I tried to be in bed, I would say by like 1. Because if you study, you spend all these hours studying and you don't rest, your brain doesn't have time to store the information in the right places. Okay? Your brain doesn't have time to do that. Resting allows your brain to just organize everything. It's like a closet. Put this here and put that here and so on and so forth. If you don't sleep and give your brain the time to do that, what was the point of studying? Again, you're going to burn out fast. So for me, it was, I can study for like 2 hours at a time and then take breaks, eat, drink, whatever, come back, sleep on time. If you have to wake up in the morning to review, that's fine, but don't be that zombie, okay, where you sleep consistently, only get like 2 hours of sleep consistently. You're gonna burn out, and then in the end, you're not gonna see why you even want to be a nurse, because what's the point if you don't even get to live life? And when I was in nursing school, I found time to go out with friends. It was hard. I couldn't do it all the time. Maybe once every like 4 or 5 weeks, I'd go out with my friends, because again, I needed something to get my mind off of the books, off of school, off of it all, because it was stressful. It was, if you're in nursing school now, you know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Yeah, I do hope these tips can help you. Nursing school was difficult, but hey, with perseverance, you do make it. I made it out, and I'm really happy I did. I would not do it over. Okay, I would not do it over. So I'm really glad it's over. I hope these tips can help you while you're in nursing school. If you do have any questions, just jot them down below or shoot me an email, whatever the case may be, and I'll be glad to help you guys. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.